Do you like to wear fragrances at bedtime? Oh, you don't? Then just wait until my next video. But if you do, I'm sharing 5 fragrances that I like to reach for when I'm sleepy, when it's time for bed. And there's some science, chemistry behind how certain fine fragrance can actually have a sedative, relaxing effect. Think aromatherapy. And we'll go over a little bit of that as we discuss these 5 fragrances. So let's get things rolling. The first one that I'd like to share is Etro's Heliotrope. There is something about the heliotrope accord that just is so calming and relaxing to me. And Etro's Heliotrope, released in 1989, really captures the true essence of the heliotrope flower smell. Now, if you haven't smelled fragrant heliotrope, they're remarkable and smell pretty much unlike any other type of flower. They're a bit almondy, they're a bit cherry pie-like, they're vanillic, Play-Doh-like, and it's all embodied in Etro's Heliotrope. And the accord here also includes iris, which with that heliotrope and iris sort of lends some similarities to me with Guerlain's Après Lundi. Though Etro is more a winsome smile to Guerlain's melancholic reflection. This cherry pie warmth and Play-Doh character of Heliotrope by Etro, it just is so irresistible to me. It really brings down my anxiety level. The dry down is powdery, but not exceedingly so. The base has this tolu balsam, which is the cinnamic resin, Peru balsam as well, with its sort of leathery, darkly resinous qualities. And it prevents the composition from being too light in the loafers. It's unisex as far as I'm concerned, but you just would use it in the right occasion. And for me, that occasion often ends up being at night when I'm unwinding, or maybe even nap time. Next, we have this lovely splash. This is Royal Bain de Caron. This was originally called Bain de Champagne. This has lilac, almost this metallic rose at the top. It's very resinous with a popinax, benzoin. It's a little incensey, vanillic, ambery, woody, musky. It was composed by Ernest Daltroff in 1923, and it was intended for good grooming and hygiene. But there's more to that. The origin of eau de champagne is fascinating because Ernest Daltroff actually did this specifically for a tycoon by the name of William Randolph Hearst. Hearst is a name that you may be familiar with, the Hearst Empire. Communications, publishing, television. So it was commissioned privately for Hearst to replace real champagne in his luxurious baths. And it was designed to resemble the essence of champagne. And, early iterations are rumored to be reminiscent of true champagne. But over time, as this became commercially available to the public, which was around 1928, as an eau de toilette, they diluted the formula, they tweaked it, it was manufactured in bulk, and it became Royal Bain de Campagne in 1941. And according to my good friend Derek, Veneris Verderi, Sentinel Devil, there was an advertisement that would read, before the bath, during the bath, after the bath, Royal Bain de Champagne is for everyone to enjoy at any time. And eventually it did change its name. They removed champagne, and that was shortly after Yves Saint Laurent was faced with a lawsuit by the city of Champagne, France, where they changed the name to Yves, and Caron preemptively changed their name as well to prevent any issues. And it's mostly available in splashes. Some versions are an atomizer. I don't mind the splash at all. Oh, there's just something so nostalgic and of another time. Like it gives me this sensation of a past life. And not that I truly believe in past lives. Maybe I do, but I almost feel convinced when I smell this that it's hitting something from a past life. Like memories that I didn't have in my lifetime are illuminating in my brain. There's just this creamy floral sweetness that is characteristic of Caron, and that lilac is really soothing. Sort of reminds me of something else that I should discuss at some point called the Lilac Vegetal from Pinot. And this is great stuff, and I do like to splash this on when I'm ready for bed, ready to put on the pajamas. So, next what we have is another one from Caron, Pour un Homme de Caron from 1934. This is lavender, vanilla. It's powdery, it's musky. There's even some of that heliotrope that we were just talking about, some tonka bean. And this is great for lulling me to sleep, and I'll tell you why. So lavender has been shown to affect the parasympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system controls the bodily processes associated with fight or flight, anxiety. So that includes the heart rate, the breathing rhythm, and on hormone secretion as well. And lavender can help in regulating these bodily processes by restoring it to a neutral state. And the reason for that is because of the linalool content. Now, linalool is in most fragrances, depending upon the quantity. It's an alcohol that occurs naturally in plants and in woods, and it activates certain neurotransmitter receptors in the brain via olfactory neurons. So in summary, things like lavender and other types of materials with a high linalool content, that linalool enables us to come down from that parasympathetic state of fight and flight and anxiety to a sympathetic state. It brings us into this baseline that calms us, relaxes us, makes us feel safe. And sometimes that is exactly what we need during bedtime, is to bring us down to that state. And fragrances like Pour un Homme de Caron help facilitate that. And next in tow here is from Lorenzo Villoresi. This is his Musk from 1995. And for this, I feel like I have found what has long eluded me. This rose musk that is neither too musky nor too rosy. A great synergy happening here. I've found in few fragrances. Perhaps the only other one I can think of is the sadly continued Van Cleef & Arpels Pour Homme with its rose and leather. And the more that I examine this on my skin as I wear it, the more it moves towards this masterpiece territory for me. It's just so mesmerizing and dreamy to my nose. Operative word, dreamy. It's just so relaxing. My nose also detects the geranium supporting the rose, and a sheer dose of that linalool, perhaps the rosewood note. So we have linalool coming into play here, and it softens and it soothes. It rounds it all off, and as it dries, a couple hours in, there's a sandalwood that crossfades with this waning rose, and what is left is a creamy, somewhat powdery skin scent with these phantom wafts of rose. It's really a true delight, And I think this cobalt blue, which is used in a number of other Lorenzo Villoresi fragrances, but for this particular one, I feel like it's an excellent choice of color because somehow in my mind it just smells like what cobalt blue looks like, which is to me a cool and relaxing color. And a little factoid, rumor has it that this is, or at least was at one point, Brad Pitt's signature scent. And the fifth and final one is a true classic and one that's near and dear to me. And that is Le Bleu Eau de Parfum from 1912. In my possession, for those who are interested in batch codes and all that sort of stuff, is an MEQXR from 2002. And for the very opening, it is everything I hope to experience and more. I can only imagine the beauty of a well-preserved older vintage, but this one is just stunning. There's a radiant kaleidoscope of cherry pie Play-Doh heliotrope, anisaldehyde heavy, aniseed. There's Parma violet. So when I say Parma violet, sort of like the candied violet. There's a spicy carnation and this cool, watery iris. It is a confluence of several of my favorite notes and is just utterly blissful. It smells of crepuscule, which is that time of the day, hence the name, Le Bleu. Twilight. It's bittersweet and uncertain, and it's a profound beauty. And as time passes, it becomes more impressionistic, almost phantasmagorical, as it follows into the night unabated, but muting into woods, benzoin, and vanilla. So hours pass, and the legendary Guerlain bass remains, eventually whispering. And when I wear this in the daytime, I experience that whole development. But if I wear this at night, I wake up to that on my skin, and it's magical. It's one of the few fragrances that is profoundly personal. I wear this mostly at night. Occasionally I've worn it in the day, and it's mostly for myself or for meaningful company who can really appreciate something like this. I don't think the world that is ageist and obsessed with what's de rigueur can really understand Le Bleu. So why cast pearls before swine and go out there and make it my daily driver? I'm always amused by that. Daily driver. Le Bleu is my daily driver. It's great office scent. But joking aside, this is such a wonderful thing to wear to bed. So there you have it. Those are the 5 fragrant nightcaps, as I like to call them. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, hit the bell button to get further notifications, and check out my weekly live streams where I have guest panelists from within the fragrance community, including writers, content creators, reviewers, and even perfumers. And those are on a weekly basis. And I typically do videos here once a week or once every other week. I figure quality is better than quantity. I'm not in any rush to be a big-time YouTuber. I just want to make sure that I have rich content and meaningful content. So thank you so much as always for your time, and be well.